You are specially welcome to this segment of the program. Inuagata no Sahai is still my amiable name. And the topic of my conversation with you this morning is how to build a negative silence-proof team as a leader. How to build a negative silence-proof team as a leader. You know, negative silence in teams is a situation whereby team members are not expressing their views concerning team issues. They are not giving feedback concerning team matters. They are not, communicating ideas on team issues. And if this is not addressed, it's going to adversely affect teamwork. It's going to affect fluid collaboration. What that will translate to at the end of the day is that the team will perform below its true potential. And that is what has informed the topic this morning: how to build a negative silence-proof team as a leader. The first strategic approach for you to build a negative silence-proof team as a leader is for you to foster a culture of psychological safety. Foster a culture of psychological safety. Now, a team or a workplace is psychologically safe when the team members are not afraid to express their views for fear of receiving, debilitating backlash from their team members on those views. A team is psychologically safe when team members are not afraid to express their opinion or also admit faults and admit failures, for fear of backlash or negative consequences from team leaders. And so at the end of the day, if this psychological safety is in place, a situation where team members are not afraid to express their views, a situation where team members are not afraid to admit failures, there are ways some team members to respond to, what appears to be not so, sagacious perspective or views of team members. There are ways that some team leaders respond to some mistakes or errors of team members, in a manner that hit on the self-esteem and self-image of the team members. If this kind of situation is what you have in your team, negative silence is going to be the order of the day, because the team members will not want to speak up. And that is not to your interest as a team leader. That is also not to the interest of your team. It is not to the good of your team. Like I said, the team is going to perform below its true potential. So as a leader, you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to encourage openness. Yes. And the way you encourage openness is to see that, your response to failures, your response, to team members' mistakes is not in a way that hits on their self-image. It's not in a manner that hits on their self-esteem. This is very, very important. Remember, our topic is how to build a negative silence-proof team as a leader. The second way is for you to implement confidential feedback mechanisms. Implement confidential feedback mechanisms. Now, there are some team members that are naturally hesitant to speak up, especially the highly introverted team members. They don't just want to talk, especially in situations where the work environment is very strict and formal. And then there are also some situations where some team members are hesitant to speak up, when they are afraid of consequences, negative consequences for higher hierarchy officers. So they just keep things to themselves. But as a team leader, you can still make them to speak up all the same. And one of the ways you do that is for you to create anonymous feedback channels. Anonymous feedback channels, I beg your pardon. And you could do that through, suggestion boards. It could be physical ones, it could be digital ones. You could do that through some other, chats arrangements, where people could just send their views and, perspective and feedback to you privately and personally. And from there, you are able to glean, insight from these team members who are naturally hesitant to speak up. Number two, I said implement confidential feedback mechanisms. Then the third one is for you as a team leader to model active listening, to promote it across all levels. Model active listening to promote it at all levels in the team. And You know, listening is a very great quality of any team leader. First of all, you know, from another angle, listening enriches the quality of your response as a leader. But one of the ways it helps to break negative silence in a team is that, you know, team members are, when they have the confidence, when they have that, you know, when they see that, you know, they are being listened to, you know, it will kind of empower them to speak more. Very important. It will empower them to speak more because they know that their team leader is listening. How do you show to your team members that you are listening to them? One strategic way you do that is for you to reflect on what they have said. In other words, a team member says something, probably in a team meeting, or bring up you know, an issue, and then you backtrack on what was said, you bring it up, you analyze it, and then you are kind of modeling before every other team member that, yes, I listen. And then other team members as well will emulate this from you, especially the extroverted team members. Very, very important. At the end of the day, you will be able to silence negative silence. Very important. The fourth one, which is the last one this morning, remember, the topic is how to build a negative silence proof team as a leader. Negative silence is a situation whereby team members are keeping mute. They are silent. They are not giving feedback. They are not contributing ideas. You know, they just sit down, face their beat, face their tasks, and, you know, they just move on without saying anything, without making suggestions. The first one this morning, I said, foster a culture of psychological safety. The second one, I said, implement confidential feedback mechanisms. The third one, I said, model active listening to promote it at all levels. Then the fourth one, which is the concluding one this morning, is for you to learn to champion diverse views and inclusive dialogue. Learn to champion diverse views and inclusive dialogue. Now, it is a known fact that one way that, you know, amazing decisions, astounding decisions can be reached, one way that astounding innovative ideas can be bettered is when, you know, the suggestions, perspective, and views come from different team members. And that is always, you know, to the premium advantage of the team, to the premium advantage of you as a team leader. So as a team leader, learn to involve everybody, you know, in that dialogue that will help advance the team forward by way of betting amazing ideas, amazing innovative and creative ideas that will advance the team. This is very important. And when your team members know that, yes, you know, you always solicit ideas from them, you want them to make contribution, they will always be more than willing to bring their ideas to the table, bring their innovative and creative feedback to the table in order to advance the team. This is very, very important. We have just looked at how to build a negative silence-proof team as a leader. The first one, as a way of review, I said foster a culture of psychological safety. The second one, implement confidential feedback mechanism. The third one, model active listening to promote it at all levels. The fourth one, learn to champion diverse viewpoints and inclusive dialogue. I believe that profound value have been added to you today. I know you will always want to reach me as you always do, but for those of you that haven't gotten my contact, just send your information to me on inoagata@gmail.com, on my email, which is right there on the screen. Send your questions, send your inquiries, and then from my device, I give you answers, and we are able to build a better team for ourselves, build a better team for you, build a better nation for ourselves, and even a better world as well. I'll be continuing from this point next week, Wednesday, and when I return, I'll remain the amiable. Inoagata no Sahai. Your day is so blessed. Thank you.